Tribune Kennett, are you really trying to say you don't remember anything?
Loris shook his head. The lieutenant put the paper and pen aside, as if packing up to leave. "Wait, please. The healer said you could explain some things to me. Why am I here? What has happened?" The junior officer turned and looked at Loris like he was a dirty, rotten sluggard. For that is certainly what he believed him to be.
You are the best person to say what has happened, Tribune. What I can tell you is what is very likely to happen now. Your commander will take you into custody, stand you before a court-martial, and find you guilty. I expect stupid decisions from some number of our young troops. But for a tribune of nearly 30 years of age, to do something so stupid is beyond me. I hope they put you outside the gate and leave you there.
Wait, court-martial? For what?
Loris sputtered.
Gross dereliction of duty, among other things.
Dereliction of duty? When have I ever not done my duty? What in the world has happened to me? Am I losing my mind? Am I going insane?
A week later, Loris stood trial. The defense had nothing to present. For all that Lord Kennett had consulted healers and tried to find any possible defense strategy. How could he defend a son who couldn't remember what happened? The verdict was reached within 15 minutes. 1 hour after that, Loris stood on the exercise field in front of the assembled regiments. His father stood gravely nearby to watch. Duke Samadar announced the court-martial verdict. Reduction of rank, separation from the army, a sizable fine, and 20 strikes of the rod. After he read the verdict, Duke Samadar began to strip Loris of his uniform, for no rod would ever be applied to the uniform. Loris was left in only a plain white shirt, leggings, and boots. At this point, the dukes stood aside and the most junior officer stepped forward. At the order of the dukes, he hit the rod across Loris's back 20 times. He hit hard. The dukes had warned the young decurion that if he didn't strike the former tribune hard, he'd get the same number of strikes from the duke's own hand, by way of training in the proper way to cane a man. And he would strike hard. With the ceremony complete, the dukes gave order to the tribunes to dismiss the troops. He was the only person from the entire cavalry to speak to Loris, and his words, though brief, hit harder than the rod had.
I advocated for your early promotion,
Duke Samadar said sternly.
I convinced the promotion board that you were ready to be the youngest officer promoted to senior rank. You not only shamed yourself, your father, and your noble line, but you shamed me. For that, I will never forgive you.
Loris was left as he was, and nothing that showed he had ever been an officer in the army, let alone a tribune. His father stepped forward.
We'll go home now, Loris, home to Starogard.
Loris wondered if he could ever clear his name.
How can you clear your name if you can't remember what happened? But 30 witnesses of good repute can, and they all bear witness that you did something you can't believe you would ever do.
Loris was quiet on the long journey back to Starogard. He was quiet the first week back at home. He slept late, ate little, and did little. Finally, Lord Kennett took his son to task.
"I don't know what to do to help you,"
he told Loris.
"I'm at a loss. You aren't the first man in Pomerania who made a stupid decision and had to start his life over afterwards, even this far along in it. You aren't so old yet. You have time to have a second career, but you must work at it."
Loris didn't hear anything his father said after the words "stupid decision."
"So, Father, you finally admit it. You don't believe me."
"I want to believe you, Loris. You must know I do. What can I say?"
Loris put his head down to hide the tears he blinked back.
"You could say you believe me, Father."
"Very well. I believe you." Loris's head shot up and then lowered again.
"You don't believe me. I see it in your eyes.